HTC and Oculus are making their early bids to be the game giants of the fully immersive virtual reality market. What the boosters promise will be a revolution ushering a new era in gaming. Headsets are already appearing on sale from the big industrial players. The Oculus Rift is available now, while Sony's new PlayStationVR legs until October.
There's huge interest in VR just across the industry, and as is usual, it's the independent developers who are doing the most interesting stuff. There are some really kind of cool little projects doing really interesting kind of quirky things with the platform, and that's as VR headsets become more popular, you'll see probably more indie games than you will see from the big publishers.
For example, Italian-based games developer Tiny Bull Studios was showcasing its latest VR title called Blind. Gamers play as a young girl who wakes up in a strange house with no memory of how she got there and without the use of her sight. Instead, they must explore their surroundings using sound. Sending out sound waves briefly reveals their landscape before it fades back into nothingness.
You're blind, of course, which is weird in VR, but you have some sort of ability, sort of like Daredevil, so you can use echolocation and use sound to navigate the world around you. The challenge is to have the players use their other senses, so we're relying on haptic feedback and of course on audio.
There's a multitude of advantages for game makers in the virtual world just waiting to be explored, says Richard Bang, games designer, programmer and artist at British game studio Freakstorm.
The players to become much more immersed in the environment. When they're playing the game, they can forget that the real world exists. There's no borders at the edge of the screen. The whole game is all around them.
Freakstorm's VR contender is Dr. Gvorek's Obliteration game. The single-player 3D adventure puzzle game has 3 individual characters, each with their own special power that you need to coordinate to outwit the evil doctor, who has lost his mind and rules over an intergalactic reality TV show.
The advantage that the indies have is that we can try anything. We're not tied to big AAA budgets. We don't have to play it safe. So you'll see lots of people trying out new things. It's the new frontier of gaming. Nobody knows what works and what doesn't work. We all get to try it and we see what works.
Germany's application systems Heidelberg is presenting something completely different, Kappelukem, where gamers solve tricky puzzles by making flowers bloom using the power of light rays. With the addition of VR hand controllers, players can guide and adjust light rays with their hands.
We wanted to create a calm entry experience into VR, so we don't want to make people sick, so it's a very meditative and slow-paced, no-pressure kind of game.
How long will that attitude last? About 10 seconds, as PlayStation was already letting punters play with unreleased more mainstream games and its new VR machines.